Welcome to the Curiosity and Connection podcast. I'm your host, Noah, in continuation of the FIFA 2026 series where I explore different parts of the globe to get different football culture perspective. Today we're heading to Germany with one of my neighbor's friend, Chris Bach. I met you back in December, I think. Kara mentioned, like, oh, I remember her. I was like, I'm glad that you came on board. I've been trying to get female perspective because a lot of the guests I've been interviewing are predominantly men. You're like my fourth female.
Okay.
I love the female perspective because it's different from the men's perspective. The men's perspective is often they played the sport and then they're committed to a club. And hearing from a female lens, it's often very fascinating. So welcome to the podcast. Help the listener understand which part of Germany are you from.
Well, my biography is a bit not difficult, but different. I grew up in a small town, 60,000 people,
Where in Germany?
close to the Dutch border.
Yeah.
And the closest big city people may know over here is Düsseldorf. Cologne is not that far.
Yeah.
But even Amsterdam is like an hour and a half or 2 hours on the train. It's kind of in between Cologne and Amsterdam.
Yeah. And coming from a small town, was football culture part of that town community fabric of life?
I think especially back then, but even today, like football is the one and only sport that really dominates the culture of Germany. Like the other sports that are popular, like handball, we have hockey teams, not like Canada.
Yeah.
American football is coming over. Football is like the sport that everybody is exposed to if they want it or not.
How were you introduced to it growing up in your small town?
Well, I've never been very athletic. I've never really played a sport, but you obviously in like just PE, like gym class, you play a bit of football. You have a ball, you play in the garden.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a strong football culture in my parents' house. They watched the Germany games, like World Cups, Euros. That was
Yeah.
the first real exposure. And then obviously, like the boys and other people in the community, they would have their football teams. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think probably the first real proper memory of football culture, other than playing with a ball, which I wouldn't call football, is probably the Euros 84.
What was significant about that one?
That was the first one I remember.
Yeah.
I was like 5
But
years
what
old.
was it about that time that stood out for you?
Just it was being watched in the house.
Yeah.
Like, so my parents all of a sudden watched football, but they never did.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, and we would play in the garden, like kick a ball around and name players that were playing at the time, which I don't remember. And then the real proper first memory was when Germany won the World Cup in 1990. Then I was, I guess, 11. That was like the first real big deal.
Yeah. And both your parents, is there a local club? Like, I know Germany has like different cities and they have their different clubs. And then there's the countries.
Yeah, so mom was not interested at all. And my dad grew up in the Ruhr area where it used to be like the industrial part of Germany. It obviously changed a lot because we don't mine coal or steel anymore. And so, yeah, I think my dad was into a club that was Red White Oberhausen, which is like this small town he came from, which were good at the time. And then the other club we kind of sympathize with is Schalke 04, which used to be like really good. Then they dropped into the second league, and I think they just returned into the Bundesliga. But it wasn't like there wasn't like memorabilia or like fan articles in the house, but that was like the club. But then people in the community itself were a lot of Dortmund supporters, which people may have heard of. It's one of the bigger clubs. And then all over Germany, people support Bayern Munich because they're the club that always win. I always say people who don't like to lose, they support Bayern Munich because they just always win.
So, like, contrasting the way the German football club is set up with like what I've come to understand after interviewing a lot of guests who are Premier League. Right? They have the English clubs, they have like the Premier League, which is the top tier one. Like, what would be the equivalent of the German league?
It's called Bundesliga.
Bundesliga?
Yeah.
And so Bayern Munich is like
Yeah,
like
the first, but there's 2 Bundesliga, the first one and the second one. The second one is obviously the one below. If you read, is it called relegate?
Yes.
If you relegate, you drop into the second.
Yeah, so the Premier League has something similar
Yeah.
where
It's not 100% the same, and I'm not an expert, so don't quote me on any of this.
just on familiarity, right?
But it's essentially it's quite similar. Like the German and the English or British football culture is it's not that far off.
And as you're getting older, are you navigating like, because you said like you started off in that small town. Did you go to like relocate to larger cities in Germany?
I lived abroad actually for 20 years.
Okay.
And that's when I discovered what I call a football tourist.
Yeah. Where did you live abroad?
Well, I went a year to the US, but I didn't watch football there, obviously. But I fell asleep at a baseball game.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. That's my ignorance. Well, I studied in Holland, and then part of it, I went to Mexico for a year. And so that's when I met a bunch of male friends, and we went to like games in Guadalajara and Mexico City, like the stadiums that I actually see now during the World Cups. We watched a bunch of plays there. And then after uni, I lived in Latin America for another 4 years. And I worked as a tour guide. I would actually take people to random football games as part of the culture. I've been, I guess, quite lucky. I mean, I've been to the main stadium in Ecuador and Lima, but I've also been to La Bombonera, which is like the Boca Juniors plays, and the River Plate in Buenos Aires. I've seen a few games at the Maracanã,
Yeah.
like local derbies. And yeah, I'm not somebody who goes every weekend. I don't have a club, but for me, football is in a lot of countries part of the culture.
Yes. Well, like going back to Germany, like did you ever caught any of the German league's games?
Happel and like mainly again with friends who came to visit, like
Yeah.
an American friend of mine who we went to all the games during studying in Mexico. I went to see, I think, Hertha against Union, which is a local derby in Berlin. I've been to Bochum a couple of times.
And how old were you like when you watched the game in Germany? Was it what the experience you imagined it to be? Like
I think I never really thought about it in Germany much. I think it's just more when you do it abroad.
yeah. Contrasting like when you were showcasing friends who were visiting in Germany with the German league football game versus when you were immersed in the Latin America culture and taking people for tours in the football culture, like walk the listener through like the atmosphere, the difference with Latin America football culture versus what you observed in the German.
Oh, the Latins probably not gonna appreciate this, but I don't think it's that different,
Yeah.
to be honest. Obviously, there's more music and more dancing if you go to the Maracanã in Brazil.
Yeah.
Like, we Germans are not famous for dancing, but in terms of the energy and the atmosphere, I'd like to say, yes, it's culturally influenced by the music and the way people move, but like the passion and the fire, I think as much as we're not known for being very passionate when it comes to football. And I think that's what people say when they come and watch games in Germany. And we had the Euros 2 years ago. People always say that we have some of the best fan culture. It's different, but it's not that far off. But I think it's a bit different. I've seen actually in Toronto, I've been to a basketball game or a hockey game. And it's quite quiet, and people sit there, and it's much more about eating the food and stuff like that.
Until the DJ's cutting around.
And I've seen a basketball game in the US, and it feels more like a spectacle. Is that the right word? And football is really about like the fans creating the atmosphere in the stadium, and they do their own entertainment, I guess.
Because I know when I'd interview a few guests who had seen when the Premier Leagues were doing tours in Toronto versus when they watched it in England, they said, the crowd here is just not the same versus like what you experienced in England. But then contrasting to watching a game in Brazil or Latin America, the crowd is just so lively. Like you don't wait for a DJ to kind of get everybody to rally. Like it's every second they're just so energized, and you feel like if the stadium's loud and it's just noisy, but it's just you feel so energized by it.
Yes, in Germany or other European countries, they have this fan club or fan part, which they're called the ultras,
Mhm.
which can be a bit iffy and a bit close to hooliganism, which is not as bad as it used to be in the 80s and 90s, which
Mm.
when it was, I think, terrible, I've been told, at least,
Yeah.
especially in the UK and
Mhm.
Germany. But they do like choreographies, like they bring in like banners and signs, and they like so, and it's all organized
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
fans. And I think that's like the word ultra. I think that comes from the Italian football fans. I think they
Yeah.
started it.
Because Toronto FC, we have, like, the Toronto FC Ultra
Yeah.
just as
Yeah.
the Premier League has their own. But, like, throughout your whole journey of just, living in Latin America and experience football culture there and then contrasting that to Germany, what was it that kept you going back? Like, you could have chosen not to, when you were living in Latin America to do tours to take people to see the game. You know what I mean? Like, well, what was it that enticed you to like, I want you to experience this?
'Cause that's part of the culture. Like
Yeah.
Latin Americans, probably the same as a lot of Europeans, they're so passionate about football. It's a religion. In a lot of the countries, some of them obviously play baseball, or Argentina plays rugby, it's quite successfully, but in a lot of countries, it's the one and only sport,
Yes.
right? And a lot of people come and ask for it as well. They know already they wanna go to the Maracanã Stadium.
Yeah.
It's a highlight.
Is it a different experience every time you take a different visitor and experience it through their lens? Let's say at the same
Yeah,
stadium.
and we're talking this is 20 years ago.
Do you see it differently, or is it like for you, you're just like, "Oh, it's just another game."
No, 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 like, but I watch the people around me,
Yeah.
like, so yeah, and yeah, no, I mean, every time it was different, but
Yeah.
also, yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
But then I actually moved to London after Latin America, and that was when the German team was really successful.
You were still following them even after you lived in Latin America and in
Yes, I missed the 2006 World Cup in Germany
yeah.
because I was working over there, and then I moved to London, and I had a small group of German friends, and
Yeah.
every 2 years, we would go to the German bars and pubs,
Yeah.
and the team was so successful until 14
Yeah.
that just kept us going. I didn't go to any stadium.
Yeah.
Premier League's too expensive.
Yeah.
I never went to watch games. 80 quid for Chelsea, I don't have, or didn't have the money, but
But what you weren't interested even when you were living in London, any interest in any of the football clubs in the UK, the Premier?
not really.
You still kept tabs on the German teams?
A little bit, but yeah, definitely not an England supporter.
That's okay. It's to each their own.
Yeah.
I always find it
Yeah.
fascinating, like, when people, like, especially when they relocate, what keeps them going
Yeah,
and
but
kind of
it's also like there's been a decade-long rivalry between Germany
yeah.
and England. Like, there's always a bit of a I have had a lot of male English colleagues, and they always gave me a hard time when Germany lost.
Yeah, bragging right, yes, as this or, I think, like, I was talking to one guest where like, he feels strongly that, it's about the rivalry teams that have this legacy that makes watching something like big tournaments like FIFA more enticing. Like, say, if it came down to England and Germany, like, that would be, like, the hot ticket because of this legacy they have, you know?
Well, for us, yeah, we'd like a good penalty shootout. It's
Yeah.
England. But, yeah, I do enjoy, like, looking at this tournament, and,
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but I love having all these small teams be
Yes.
part of it, and not just because Germany just beat
Yeah.
poor Curaçao 7-1, but, on the other hand, Cape Verde did amazingly against the Spanish, which nobody
I
expected.
know, the
Um,
40-year-old, like, bully, the keeper, yeah.
yes, I think it's yeah, there's, like, old school rivalries, like, I guess Germany has it with France, the Netherlands, Italy, who are not there, England, that's just kind of all the evergreen, and then South American teams have their rivalries
Yeah.
among each other, but
So what made you decide to, because FIFA is hosted in North America this year, why did you decide to, like, take the chance on coming here?
well, so I've always wanted to be part of it, and I think because I missed the 2006 one in Germany, I've always had so much FOMO, like, it's probably the one if I have one
Mm.
regret in my life, it's not having gone home for it.
Mm.
because everybody, still until today, everybody keeps on talking about it, how amazing it was, how the atmosphere was the best. And even I have a sister, she really doesn't care at all for it.
Yeah.
And even she went to one of the watch parties.
Yeah.
And this whole like watching it outside on big screens started. And so I was like, oh, I want to go one day. And then I think the next two ones, I was a poor worker and travel, so I didn't really have a lot of money to go. Then the next one was in Russia, and then the next one was in Qatar, and I was like, not places where I want to go to at the time. And
You've been to Toronto so many times.
yeah, I've been coming to Toronto since 2009, I think, because I've been working for Toronto-based companies for a long time. And I'm so good friends with your neighbor, Kara. And I was like, okay, this is the year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming. And then I found out that one of the games was being played in Toronto.
Saturday,
First round. I was like, yeah, it's just how I'm meant to be.
Yeah. But going back to the 2004 where Germany hosted FIFA, how did they do? Do you know? Did you recall?
Yeah, we lost in the semi-final against Italy, and then we won the third. So they played for the third place. It was third and fourth place. We became third, and I think that was against Uruguay, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
No, I do remember that. I watched a game where we lost against Italy in Guatemala in a bar in Antigua, which I don't remember.
Yeah. And do you have a German kit that you like?
I'm wearing a really old school one. It looks like the Mexican one.
Yeah.
And I did buy the pink one 2 years ago. But I don't buy it every year. I don't know. I got the colors for the face for a game. But I'm not like, for me, it's a really social, fun event.
Yeah.
And and I do like watching it. We watched the Canada game last night at a pub, which was
It was crazy.
yeah, no, it was so good. But that's the fun part about it, being with Canadians and seeing what is 6-0. So good. And it's just watching everybody, and you kind of want Canada to win then.
Like you said, the social, I'm hearing, like you said, you like the social aspect of it. And do you get energized when you're around other people? Kind of like the Canada game?
Yeah. I mean, no, that was fun. When I knew that was coming for the 10 days, I was like, I looked at the schedule and I was like, okay, this is what we got to watch. We got to watch Germany. We got to watch Canada. And then our friend Kara's husband really likes England, so we got to watch the England games. Yeah. Some of us may or may not want them to win, but that's fine.
Look, I'm not here to judge. Everybody's allowed their opinion. Going back to Germany, are there some players that you're a big fan of in the German league?
I'm not. They're not heroes for me. Like, I mean, I don't think we. Also, I'm in no position to really like judge their skill set because I only know what people tell me.
But even as a, because I think one of the beauty I've learned throughout this whole journey of interviewing guests is that you don't have to play the sport to appreciate the sport. Like I had one guest where like he never played it, never took to it. For him, it was always cricket, but it was more the tactician and the strategy, the way the moving pieces come together, kind of like chess, that fascinated him and drew him into watching the sport. It kind of shows that you don't have to play the sport to appreciate it.
I often judge the players based on what they say in interviews and more if it's the real or not, but the human side of them. If you look at, like, there's one player, he's not playing for Germany for a very long time, but that's probably my all-time favorite, and that's Jürgen Klinsmann. He was world champion in 1990, and he was coaching the German soccer team in 2006 during the home World Cup. And he's just a very pleasant, nice person when he opens up his mouth. There's some other people who are like considered the greatest at all time, but they rub me the wrong way when they say things. Like it's a bit like, but
I get it.
I don't have the knowledge to judge the skill sets. I judge based on like who I find,
and that's okay. And sometimes I think, especially now because of social media, I think a lot of athletes or even the team are PR trained or social PR trained. But even in some cases, even if they're PR trained, like you said, when they speak, there's just something about them, the way they speak, that lands with you. And in other times, it's just like just talking, like just shut your mouth kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and it's like there's so many that are experts now and stuff. I do like Thomas Müller. He plays for the Whitecaps now. I think He's really funny, but yeah, so he was a good player. He scored a lot of goals for Germany, and he opens his mouth and makes you laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Jürgen Klinsmann is probably my favorite out of all
Yeah.
time.
And, like, so whenever you go home, back to Germany, do you make an effort to catch a game? Or if it's only when, like, you have friends visiting that you would go catch a game?
Yeah, no, I have. I think I moved back to Germany like 6 years ago,
Mhm.
and I've been to one game, and that was a friendly against England, and I think we drew. So that. But yeah, no, because I live in Munich now, so I have no interest in seeing Bayern Munich. They always win. No,
Yeah.
sorry guys. They're really really good. They have like they have like the best team and the best skill set in the
Yeah.
entire league,
Yeah.
but it also makes the Bundesliga very very boring. Like they
Mm.
because they won like 12 times out of 11 the last 12 years. It's yeah. There's no club really that
Like, rivals against
yeah,
that caliber.
yeah,
Do you like the whole underdog story, you know?
I do. I mean, except when it's Germany, obviously, I want
Yeah.
to win, and I don't think we will
Like
win it.
Like Cape Verde against Spain, like the underdog story, nobody thought that
Yeah,
everybody's predictions, like all those people who were betting against, like, them.
yeah. No, no, no. I mean, that obviously for the pro Spanish, it wasn't a beauty to see, but yeah,
Yeah.
no. There was a I don't remember when it was, but there was a Euros where Iceland was doing really, really well, and they had this amazing, like, chilling chant in the stadium. Everybody really wanted Iceland to do well. And I think if was it in South Africa when the Australians did really, really well?
Mhm.
Or in Qatar even, I didn't follow that one very much because it was at an awkward time of the year, but Morocco was doing really well. Yeah, I do get excited for teams
Yeah.
do really well that are not the ones where you expect it from, like, the top 5, 6 nations from Europe and then Brazil and Argentina.
Yeah. Like, go let's go to prediction then. Who would you like to win aside from Germany is what I'm hearing? If Germany didn't make it, who would you like to win as the
So
second round?
it's really, really, really hard.
It doesn't have to be specific because what I'm hearing is, like you said, like, you would like an underdog team to win.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the reality of it is probably not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Who has a really good chance from what I'm hearing? What's France, Spain
Yeah,
before
that's
last
what I heard.
week?
That's
But
what I heard also. But
but
I hear from people that it's so unpredictable too, like, because it's just, like, the teams that you thought were gonna do well, it's just kinda, like
no, England is played really well compared to the last years. They do have a really good chance
Mhm.
to win, and if they win this time, at least with a German coach.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's 2 teams I always support is Germany and Mexico because
Yeah,
I
'cause
went to
you
school there, and I like the Mexicans. They know how to party, and they're good, but they're also a bit of an underdog.
yeah.
And then, yeah, no, I'd love to see little countries like Cape Verde and
Yeah.
Haiti and
Yeah.
even Curacao to proceed to the next round
Yeah.
because it's fun and mixes it up things and makes it interesting. But yeah, who's gonna win? I don't know. Probably France, England, Spain,
But even, like,
Argentina.
when, you were talking about from, like, say, 2000 when Germany was hosting, the FIFA. From your understanding or just from word of people talking, like, let's go to FIFA in general, like, the cost of the tickets,
Oh, it's insane.
is it
But
still as insane like, if it was hosted in Germany versus, like, Great
I
Britain?
don't remember. I don't wanna no, 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 it wasn't this expensive at all.
Mm.
First, it was only the euros. Plus, we don't have dynamite ticket pricing yet for anything really. As far as I'm concerned, there's obviously reselling,
Mhm.
but that you can't help. But I think even for concerts and stuff like that, it's not cheap. If you want to see Pink or so, you pay 120 euros for like
Yes.
a general entrance ticket. What's that? 160 Canadian or something. But there's no dynamic pricing like they had during the what's a concert of Oasis or something like that
Yeah.
in the UK. And I don't know what the tickets cost. I completely didn't ch- I completely didn't know that it was happening
Mm.
when but I think my friend, I don't want to lie, he maybe paid like 250 euros or
Mhm.
so or less for the opening game Germany against Scotland
Yeah.
at the Allianz Arena for like really good tickets.
That's not bad.
No, just to put it in relation to
Yeah, to what it is now because,
what.
like, I remember, like,
No, this is
this is, like, absurd, like, because one of the guests I interviewed, he went to the Qatar game, and he said that the ticket for just, like, this is, like, top tier team, like,
yeah.
he saw Messi and Ronaldo play, and he's like, "It's $150 for a ticket." He's like, "To get a ticket in Toronto, no guarantee," and not knowing the team that they were being played, he's like, "That's pretty much my whole trip to Qatar." And I just, like, it's
Well, I mean, you've
so your opinion on FIFA, like, what are your
I have no opinion about it.
yeah.
It's insane. It's crazy. It makes it less fun, but what can you do? I mean, there's well, you can opt out of it. You can boycott it.
Yeah,
I did it with Qatar.
yeah.
I have extra withdrawals from that. No, it's there's a lot of changes that they made that people are really, like, upset about.
Mhm.
I love that all the players are allowed to come on the pitch now for the national anthem. I think that's really nice because
Oh, they weren't allowed to before?
no, it was always standard at any national game that the starting
Oh.
11, they would come on the pitch, you play the national anthem for them, and so all the substitutes, even if they would play, they never got to participate
Oh, that's weird.
in, like,
Yeah.
singing the national anthem. That's the one change where I was like, "Oh, why has this never thought about it?"
Yeah, it's just
It's really nice. You can discuss the water breaks. I'm not an expert enough to be. I've I quite like it because you can nip out to the bathroom if you have to. From a female perspective,
yeah.
I'm like, hey, because it has happened in the past when I had to sneak out
Yeah.
and then I missed a goal. So I'm yay from that point of view.
Yeah.
The ticket prices are like it's not, it's- and the whole like Tara, what they're doing with that guy with the orange phase over. I mean, not wanting to go into politics, but not a fan.
Yes.
But I find it really funny because like we never use, we never would call it the FIFA World Cup. For us, it's just a World Cup. So I think
Mm.
we're very good at compartmentalizing
Yes, that's
like
fascinating.
the football because I was like, yeah, I guess the FIFA organizes that, but
Yeah,
in our brains, it's like we can just put it aside.
yeah. Do you like the 3-country system, what they're doing this year, or do you prefer, like, the 1-country system instead?
Well,
Hosting.
I think I think you can have it in 3 different countries, but I think from and this is the girl who flew over here. But obviously the ecological footprint of it could be managed
Better.
a lot better, and I think that's the careless part about it. You can have games in Canada, you can have games in Mexico and in the US, but just have them play all, like,
Within proximity.
within proximity, don't fly people all over the place.
Mm.
It that I don't know what the reasoning behind it is, but it seems strange to me and
Mm.
unnecessary, like
Yeah. I
so
don't know how they decide, like,
so
which
the
city, gets in.
because the two-country system has happened, at least with the Euros, a few times where they had it.
Mhm.
I remember Austria and Switzerland had it, so 2 small nations could share it.
Yeah, but they're within proximity though,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then I forgot, but they were it's ha has
It's happened
happened before, like,
yeah.
especially with the Euros.
Well, like, the my friend who was
Was it?
consultant for, FIFA, he said because, they went from a 32 country system to now 48,
Yeah.
and it's gonna expand even more in the next World Cup, and I think the next World Cup, it's their 100-year anniversary, so they're gonna do more countries. Morocco, Spain, Portugal, and then there's 3 more countries that I saw. I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
But at least that makes sense because the proximity, but also Europe is so small compared to
Yeah.
Mexico and Canada.
No, but I think it would make more sense, like, if you have the group stages, all have them play at
And
in one location or at least within 2. You don't have to, like, that and also, like, the conditions are fair for all around, right?
yes.
The pitch is the same, the weather conditions
Yes.
potentially are the same.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm no expert, but it
Yeah,
yeah,
this is the
like, somebody who likes to try to be a bit responsible when it comes to the environment,
yeah.
I think there's like, you can have it in 3 countries without doing it the way it's
Yes.
been done
Yes.
this time.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
I think there's so many ways to do things better, and the intention with hopefully with every succession afterwards. It's to learn from the previous and better, whether that it goes in that direction, it's just more of a stay tuned, you know? But throughout your whole football journey, like, what is it about the sport that kept you, coming back?
It's the atmosphere and the fun and the communities. Like, oh, occasionally I watch a game at home, but it's yeah, going to the stadium where I don't go that often, but like
Mm.
just watching it at a pub or at a outdoor venue, it's just fun.
Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah, what I'm hearing, it's a great way to connect
yeah.
to the community, and then how do you think through the football culture experience in your journey, how has it allowed you to connect to yourself in a different way, or has it? Or have you learned
I know,
anything about yourself?
I wouldn't go that deep.
Yeah.
It's very superficial.
Yeah.
You know, it's it's yeah, no, it's having a good time. Then,
Yeah.
when things don't go that well.
Does it allow you to, like, big tournaments like this? Do you ever, like, connect to your family back home? Or even now you're here, but before you came, like, do you ever, like, touch base with your parents and your sibling and be like, "Hey, this is what's happening. What are your thoughts?" Do you go to those ventures or no?
N Not so much. 'Cause, like, my parents don't live anymore. That's okay,
Yeah.
that's been a while, but my one sister doesn't care, the other one lives in Switzerland, so sometimes, like, if Switzerland does really well, then I send them a message or so but there's not, like, real rivalry either.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I think I'm the only one in the family that really cares about it. It's just more friends and
Yeah.
my husband's family. He himself doesn't care much for football at all, but, like, his brother-in-law and his brother, we sent, like, little messages of banter because 'cause they're all English.
Yeah. Is he gonna, go watch the football game with you?
No,
No?
he's not, no. No. No, that would be a real waste of money.
Oh my
Well, if the
god!
ticket was, like, 50 Canadian dollars, I would take it,
Yeah.
but you're not spending, like, triple digits
Yeah.
on somebody who's not.
He grew up with the Premier League, right?
Yeah,
But he had no interest in.
no, I think, there's a positive about the fan culture, the community, the
Yes.
fun bit, and then there's the aggressive.
Yes, there's a toxic culture.
There's a toxic culture, and that's why I like the World Cups because that it happens, but minimal. On a club level, it can be really bad, and that's where I'm out. Like, I don't.
Did you witness any of that when you were living in Latin America or even the UK or Germany? Because you said, like, it
Not
yeah.
personally, like, so when I was in Latin America, most of my stadium visits in the intense cities like Buenos Aires and Rio
Mhm.
were always with, like, organized tourist packages.
Yeah.
I've been to the stadium in Ecuador and Mexico on my own,
Yeah.
but, like, I think Argentina and especially used to have, maybe they still do have a very toxic fan culture as well.
Mhm.
I had friends that were operating like these day trips and you meet up, you do a bit of,
Check in, yeah.
yeah, like you go have like a barbecue or something like that before you go to the game and they take you to a part of the stadium which is quite safe. You don't
Yeah.
go where the
Ah.
ultras are. Yes. I've never experienced that side of things.
Mm.
But I think it's gotten a lot better compared to the 80s and 90s. And it's often a lot of really small clubs in Germany that have, like, really intense rivalries.
Yeah.
But you don't occasionally happens here and there that.
But when you went to, like, the Latin American game, because I was talking to the Brazilian moms who grew up in, like, Rio and Sao Paulo, and I had asked them about did they attend any of the games, and they said there's a safety factor involved because there's, like, the passionate fans, but also it's predominantly, like, a male viewing sport, right? And so, like, if you go, you're going with a group. You don't generally go by yourself.
Yeah.
And, like, when you were observing the game, the attendees were predominantly male or, like.
I don't remember that. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, but isn't that almost
Oh, yeah,
everywhere?
it's true.
Like with most sporting events, and it doesn't matter. There's always a bigger male population.
Mhm.
No, like I said, I've always because I worked in travel, I was very sensitive to making sure I knew what was smart, what was safe,
Yes, yeah.
where could you go by yourself, where would you wanted to go with a group. I never went on my own, but,
Mm.
like, by yourself as a bunch of gringos or,
Yeah.
whatever they call us. But it was, But yeah, like there were places like especially in Buenos Aires and in Rio where you just would go with a big group of foreigners, tourists, and make sure you stayed in your little bubble and followed the guy's advice of
Yeah.
what to do.
But when you were doing the tours for the stadiums, was it predominantly male? Like, what was the gender in the
Because most of my guests were female, like probably 60-40.
Yeah.
This just happened. But yeah, it was probably most of the time the guys that wanted to go and see a
Mm,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know what the percentage are of fans in the stadium in Germany, but it's probably at least 60% male,
Yeah.
if not a bit more. But lots of female football fans.
I guess, like, I guess throughout the whole journey of football culture, what were some of your highs and lows, if you can recall? If there were any like you said, what I'm hearing is, like, some of the highs were, like, connecting on a social atmosphere level.
But the best experience ever was like the final 2014 when I was a proper adult
Yeah.
and Germany won the world.
Yeah, and just, like
So hungover at work the next day. I was like, and I was still annoyed because I knew it was the final of the World Cup, but because I wasn't cocky enough to think, I agreed to do a meeting for a colleague of mine. I was
Yeah.
given a meeting with a client of mine where I was like, I'll cover for you. And then we won the whole thing. And yeah, we were at the bar in London and it was, I don't know. It's just, there's so much euphoria. It's so fun.
Yeah.
That was probably the best football moment. Me personally, I've never had like one low one, but obviously when you see things on the news, like I think it was like at some point in the 90s, German hooligans, like I think he died in the end, like beat a police officer in France. And then, like those moments where you go like, ooh, I don't want to have anything to do with that. But I've never experienced this
Yeah.
myself. Like I'm not too involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole violent side of it. Yeah. And yeah, but that's like I said, thankfully it does happen very rarely on a country versus country level
Yeah.
compared to like smaller clubs.
Do you think because FIFA is being held in Europe in the next 4 year, would that interest you as a possibility, or is this like I've I no longer feel FOMO because I finally get my fix in for the
It really depends where life is,
yeah.
but like, if there's a really good reason to go to Spain, maybe, but
Yeah.
also need to be mindful how much football I put on my husband. He's been good. He's been embracing it.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I think there's, like, it's a compromise, I think, in a relationship where, he might not enjoy it, but he's supporting which what it sounds like he's here supporting you and your interests, You're gonna go to the game on your own?
yeah. Yeah. No, there's some other friends, but we're not sitting together. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of other friends that I used to work with who have tickets for the Germany game. We're meeting up before and probably going to do I think there's a fan march.
Yeah. And how are you feeling, like, going solo, like, here? I mean, you're meeting up with the group of friends prior to and
Should I be
afterwards.
worried? I don't
No,
know.
no, but I'm just, like, you're how
I
you
don't know. I
like
think,
you said, because normally you wouldn't go to a game by yourself, obviously.
yeah, but
That was Latin
that was
America.
real.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit naive about Toronto, but I've been here tons of times.
No,
Like I feel really like I mean I wouldn't walk anywhere super drunk at 3 o'clock at night and myself anymore. I mean I've had a lot of luck in life, but
you'll meet up with them after the game too, just to kinda, like, check in after too, or no?
well, hopefully we win and then there will be a party somewhere. And now I jinxed it. So
Stay tuned, stay tuned. It's supposed to be good weather this Saturday, so
yeah.
hopefully it'll be an entertaining game.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried. Like there'll be other people and like I said
Yeah.
there before.
I like BMO Field because, like, I saw, like, the Canada-Tunisia game there, and I also saw, the Canadian women's final, like, we have, like, local clubs.
Yeah.
I took my daughter to one, and then I saw just the local Toronto club, and no matter where you sit,
Yeah.
like, I would have thought like they look like ants, right? But
Yeah.
it's a really good view. You can see
The
like
stadium looks like so cute and itty
yeah,
teeny compared to like the Azteca Stadium. I've been there once, like many years ago, and we had like really super cheap tickets. It probably cost
mm,
like $5 back then, and like everybody was like ants, but because of
yeah,
the stadium being so impressive, it didn't really matter,
yeah.
right? But like the Toronto one looks just like
Because I sat in the second, the 200 level that was under the overhang,
yeah,
and even where I sat, I could see the whole pitch and the players.
yeah,
I mean, obviously my own visibility, but and
yeah,
then I sat behind the goalkeeper, and you could see like it's a really great view. But like I sat in the Rogers Center for baseball. I'm like 300 level and 500. I'm just looking at ants. Like
yeah,
I, so I think no matter where you sit, I kind of get the sense that you might be able to appreciate the game
yeah.
and see
Well,
players.
hopefully, you're gonna be a really good atmosphere.
Yeah.
I know just briefly, I met a person at a conference a few months ago, and then it turned out that she went to the Germany Curacao game in Houston, and
Yeah.
I wrote her like on Instagram. I was like, "You were there," and she's like, "Yeah, it was so amazing. It was such a good atmosphere." So
Yeah.
I hope that it's gonna be loud and noisy and fun.
Yeah. I think no matter what happens, you'll still enjoy yourself
Yeah.
and, like enjoying your team. Come what may. That'll be interesting. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time,
Well,
Chris.
no, thanks for having me. Well,
It was really entertaining, and good
well,
luck with Germany this Saturday, and
thanks.
enjoy your stay here.
And good luck. Who are you supporting? Canada?
Ah,
No.
yeah, yes, I'll watch. I don't follow football, but I'm always curious, like when
Yeah.
I hear those underdog
Yeah.
stories. I love those moments because
Canada is a bit of an underdog, so
it
go
is.
Canada.
I like those moments because and like you, there's always the big teams that win that you hear. I wouldn't mind if it's like an outlier team. It would be really nice just to kind of like you said, to shake it up just a bit because it comes predictable. And if Germany does make it to the final, good on you.
Mm.
But
Yeah, no.
if not, like if it's an outlier
Yeah,
team,
I know that nobody else wants us to. That's okay. We okay with it. We used to rejection.
no. Anyways, until next time, everybody, stay curious and stay connected.